Hello, everybody. At this point, I'm sure it's obvious that the title gives it away, but I wrote a book. It's something that I've mentioned before in other videos, but I've never really expounded too much upon it because there wasn't really much to offer you. For a lot of it, I was in the process of writing a book, but then also for a lot of it, it was out to beta readers, So there wasn't really much I could do. But at this point, I can safely say I wrote a first draft. I finished the book. I put the metaphorical the end on the end. And let me tell you, there's no better fucking feeling in the world. Like you ever watch that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Pump, where he's like, it's better than coming. It's better than coming. Like that's what this feels like, finishing a book. It's better than coming. And there were a lot of things that, I didn't fully have in perspective when I was writing it that like, it's clearer to me now. But to anyone who's thinking about writing a book, or maybe, you're in the middle of it, or maybe it's just something that you're thinking about, let me just share with you where I've been on it, what happened to me, the thought processes I went through, and maybe this will be helpful to you. Maybe not, but let's just get right into it. So first of all, I got some notes here on my other monitor. So when it comes to conceptualizing and narrowing down ideas, this is a really big one, and all you fellow ADHD like nuts out there will likely relate to this. Maybe I personally am an idea generating machine. My body is a machine that turns not having ideas into having a lot of ideas, and the hard part for me is that it's very difficult to narrow one down. I had like 4 or 5 fucking golden ideas in my mind that I really wanted to do for this book. Well, not like this book, but like to be the book that I start on. And trust me, there's been failures. There's been like weird underdeveloped little like fetus stories that like either got halfway done or 25% of the way done, and they were just discarded, and they like taught me things. And you're going to find that happens as well. Not everything you write needs to be published. Sometimes it just needs to teach you something, and that can be a hard pill to swallow, but swallow it you must. Pause. But yeah, like I realized I would drive myself crazy trying to think of what idea I should commit to. Should I commit to the idea where a dude goes to the bank and gets shot? Should I commit to the one where an elf resurrects a dead god and then magic ensues, or whatever the fuck? Should I commit to the smut book? whatever it is that you feel like you need to do, it's gonna drive you nuts if you try to min-max this and just be like, well, I have to do this one because the market right now is blah, blah, blah. Well, I have to do this one right now because I think it's really cool. Well, I got to do this one right now because I think it's my fully fleshed out idea and it's really good. Like there is a saying in like leadership circles. I mean, I've heard it in gaming, whatever. My armchair psychology. That's a bad plan that everyone agrees on is just better than no plan at all. And I think that that's kind of where we're at with this. If you find yourself overwhelmed by ideas, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing to sort of like just pick one. And I know that's easier said than done. I know. Trust me, I'm the king of indecisiveness. But like, if you're just like, I'm just going to fucking pick one, even if it's at random, and just stick with it. Because you'll either find out that maybe you're not skilled enough to write this yet, and you get to file it away later, and you get to ultimately make that story better. Or it just fucking works out. Or you just realize the story was actually ass and it's just better as an idea in your head. Or maybe it should be a short story, maybe not even a whole novel. Or maybe it should be a graphic novel, not a novel. Maybe it should be a fucking short film. You know what I mean? Like you'll find these things along the way. And it was only when I committed to a project that I just noticed this. I'm like, well, the first thing I write, the first draft in particular, is just going to be ass. And the first thing that I write is going to be me at my most inexperienced. It just is what it is. So it's like I either get to write it now and get it out of me, or I get to write it later when I'm a better writer. Either way, you win if you want to think of it that way. So that's the thing. When it comes to like conceptualizing and narrowing down ideas, just go easy on yourself. I think that if you just pick anything and just stick with it, it will be better than you think. You will learn more about yourself and the process of writing by just committing to one, even if it's the wrong one. Even if it's not your magnum opus, the thing that you will be known for forever. We can't all be J.K. Rowling. Where on an early book, she really makes it. Or like David Baldacci, where it's like on an early book, like in his career, it blows up. I think that was like the first book he ever released. It blew up. I think. Don't quote me on that. But sometimes you got to be like Brandon Sanderson, where you write a few, and then they blow up. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. There's no right way to do this, is what I'm saying. So then that leads me to gardening versus architecture. Surely we've all heard the George R. R. Martin opinion on this. Like, there's gardeners and there's architects. Some people call them plotters and pantsers. I like to go with gardener and architect. Just in my mind, visually, it makes more sense. A gardener, for those who don't know, is someone who plants the seed of their story and they just water it and they nurture it and they watch it grow. That is to say, they will start the story and then they just kind of let it take shape as they're writing it. They find it as they go. There's a sense of discovery to it. And so it's like you're gardening a plant. Now, the pros with this approach are that, to me, it's more fun. To me, it's more enjoyable. And if you're having fun, you do better. It's like when you're playing a character in a video game, you can pick the cool or best guy, but if you're not having fun, you can't stick with it. You know? So it's like, this is how I approach it. I'm more of a gardener than anything else. There's nuance to this, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now, the bad side of gardening is that you can blow your shit up into like ungodly proportions to where you fucking lose the plot after a while and you've got too many threads left unopened and it is just not contained, you know, and you can just go off on tangents that ultimately never amount to fucking anything. And that's not good, but like it can happen. And then there's the architect. The architect is someone who meticulously plots out their story. And so the writing of the story itself is just a matter of plugging it in. Easy peasy. But you do a lot more front-loaded work like on the outline and stuff. Why that's good is because you go in prepared as fuck. If going in like a gardener is like being Superman, you're just superpowered and you're like, I just got this, I'm going to wing it. Then architecture, it's like being Batman. You're just going in there prepared. You can fight a Kryptonian if you fucking need to because you accounted for this. And that's good. Now, the negative is that for a lot of people, myself included, over-architecting can lead to some fucking, bland writing sessions. If I already know all of what's going to happen, my motivation to sit there and just rewrite it or to write it the first time, it gets kind of shot. This is just me personally. A lot of people don't have this problem, but like I need to discover it as I'm writing it. Just fucking outline in that sense for me. But where's where nuance comes in. I have outlines for like broad bullet points. My outlines will just look like 5 to 10 points where I'm just like, this just needs to happen. However I get there is up to me, but I know this needs to happen. And I think everyone is kind of a fusion of the two at the end of the day. Like I'm a fusion, but I heavily lean gardener. And I before fucking, I know someone's going to read my book and be like, yeah, dude, I can fucking tell you didn't outline this shit. This shit fucking is ass. And fuck you. Okay. I don't mind. I don't mind doing edits, obviously, or like draft 2, you know, because I did draft 1 as a gardener. Now that I've gotten feedback from my beta readers and I'm like more skilled and I know where the story has to go, now I get to do it well. You know what I mean? And that's fun in a different way. So I think that like the gardener thing is still valid because, you know, it's just that your outline is just writing it the first time, essentially. At least to me. I don't know. Moving on. Consistency. Look, guys, it's like working out. It's like building up your singing voice. It's like anything. How can you get better at something if you don't consistently do it? If you are writing sporadically and irregularly and you don't schedule this time or you don't do it enough times, like the skill will atrophy. It just is what it is. And maybe you're starting from like not complete novice territory. Like, let's just say you're naturally just a fucking god at writing. And like on a scale of 100, say you started at 50. You're already halfway there just on natural prodigy talent alone. You still need to work at it because if you want to get up to 100, you got to keep it going. And then like if you decrease, maybe you only decrease back to 50. Maybe there's a little party that always will be kind of good. But it's like, don't you want to be more than 50? Don't you want to be at the peak of your craft? Like, so you're going to have to work on it. There are genetic phenoms out there in this world, you know, who just have way better muscle than you or me or anyone. And they're just genetic phenoms and they have great muscle inserts and they're naturally really big and strong. They still got to work out. They will be out of shape if they don't work out. You know what I mean? So it's like writing is very much the same way. Exercise the muscle or it atrophies. It gets small. So like you just have to keep up with it. And that's something that like I struggled with, you know, because work and responsibilities, but it's like I still put in the time. There were some nights where I had to like maybe not get as much sleep as I wanted because I'm trying to manifest my destiny, bro. You know what I mean? And like, I think that there's a part of that you have to consider. Like, I don't think your favorite writer didn't work their ass off. You know what I mean? I think there's just a level of like sucking it up that we have to do, and we have to get on that keyboard and we got to write, even if it's only like 500 words, man. Even if it's a 500 word discussion post response for Canvas in college, you know, like something. You got to write something. You got to flex the creative muscle. Keep your brain in it so that it doesn't get disconnected. One mistake I made with the book that I just finished was that I wrote like half of it. Then I had a fucking crisis. Like, this is bullshit. This sucks. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. And I just went and I fucked off and just wrote other things. And then when I came back, I was like, no, I got to finish what I started. I wasn't in the headspace. I had to get back into it. So, you know, maybe just don't make that a problem for yourself. Then this leads me to beta reading. Maybe this is not something you necessarily need. Maybe you could just send it straight to an editor, but I opted for beta reading. It's something I heard about from Brandon Sanderson's like free writing and world building lectures on his YouTube channel. I wanted beta readers. So I picked like 4 people who I thought would have really poignant things to say about my book, or who I thought might just be interested. Like, I wanted like a normie opinion. I wanted like a nerd opinion. I wanted a learned opinion. And I wanted like a hyper analytical opinion. So I got people with like each of those traits that I wanted, and they gave me feedback. Took a long time. That's another thing. So like, just be careful about that. Whatever you're thinking about for beta readers, just make sure that it's happening on a timeline that like you're okay with. And don't be afraid to just be like, hey, I would like it done in this time. If you don't think you can get it done in this time, you know, like, I won't send you the book. And it's not because I don't fucking like you. It's just because I'm trying to move on with my life. Because my beta readers, they took a while. They did. And if they're watching this, you know you did. So it's like, I'm not even throwing shade. But like, you know, life gets busy. Neither I nor any of the people who are beta reading for my book are like famous people or successful people in writing that do this for a living. They have their own successes, but it's like, they're not professional editors who do this like for a living. So it's like, they had to take time out of their day to do this. So it's like, I get it. But yeah, that's what I looked for in beta readers, those perspectives. And their feedback was invaluable. It let me know like who were the more compelling characters, what were the more compelling scenes, and what they would have wanted to see more of or less of. And that's gonna happen. And that leads me very nicely into my penultimate point, handling criticism. You're gonna need to grow a thicker skin. I already had one because I've been singing and playing live music since I was like 14 years old. So like, I've been torn apart. You know, my fucking soul is calloused because I've been told I suck so many times, right? You know, like when you're younger and you're first starting out and you fucking suck balls. Yeah, the world is not kind to that, even if you're a kid. So it's like, I don't give a fuck. You can tear my shit apart and I'll be like, oh, interesting. Okay, I'll incorporate that in the next draft. But it's like, that's one thing. You got to incorporate a thick skin, dude. You got to adapt a thick skin, because trust me, you want it from your beta readers and your editors probably before you want it from the publisher. It's probably going to hurt more. I haven't even gotten that far yet, but like, I'll be fine. You know, like, just sometimes you got to just be told you fucking suck, and it just is what it is. Now, my last point is about going into draft 2. So this is where I currently am. First draft is done. It's been peer reviewed. It's now time to go into like edits and write a second draft. Yeah, I'm nervous. It's not going to be like as good as I think it's going to be, but I got to do it. So what are we talking about? You know, like, I got to do it. So I'm going to do it. But what's invigorating is that all their feedback, both positive and negative, I'm like, yes, I know how to make this shit fucking lit, dude. Like, now it's going to be even litter than I could have possibly imagined. And that's a high. And so it's always worth, like, when you go into draft 2, I know a lot of people think editing is like, you know, oh, God damn it, it's like pulling teeth. I don't want to do this. Dude, you're going to make your book go from good to great. We can't skip that step. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So in summation, I finished a book. The first draft of, okay, let me start over. I finished the first draft of, I'm trying to clip this, okay, for a short, so bear with me. I finished a first draft of a fantasy novel that I've been working on. And what I learned in summation is this. You just got to commit to an idea, even if you have a bajillion of them, even if it's maybe not the right one, commit to one. You'll be surprised what you learn. 2, there is no right way between being a gardener and an architect. Just write the way that feels natural and comfortable to you, and you will find the right book along the way as you write it. 3, consistency. You got to show up. Even if you're only writing a couple hundred words, you got to keep the muscle from atrophying. You got to show up for the work. 4, beta reading is insanely helpful. If you've got people who would like be willing to give you insight, take advantage of that. Let them help you. It can make your book so much better. 5, handling criticism. It's going to happen. You're going to be told you suck fucking balls, and it's okay. Because to make something great, maybe it does have to suck a little bit of ballage. And then 6, be excited going into draft 2. Be excited to edit. That's going to make a good product a great product. So I'll see y'all in draft 2. And that's all I really got. So yeah, it's been about 16 minutes. I hope some of this was helpful in all of my ramblings. I'm really looking forward to editing this book. And I really think I got something special here. And I know many of you feel that about your precious stories that you're making. So it's like, keep fucking doing it, dude, because it's going to pay dividends. If you care and the passion leaks into the craft, people are going to see it. So like, just keep doing it, dude. See you.